I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for Lesson 95 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students here on April the 5th of 2023, Wednesday. We're reading from the original edition in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. I am one self, united with my Creator. Today's idea accurately describes you as God created you. You are one within yourself and one with Him. Yours is the unity of all creation. Your perfect unity makes change in you impossible. You do not accept this, and you fail to realize it must be so, only because you believe that you have changed yourself already. You see yourself as a ridiculous parody on God's creation, weak, vicious, ugly, and sinful, miserable, and beset with pain. Such is your version of yourself, a self divided into many warring parts, separate from God and tenaciously held together by its erratic and capricious maker, to which you pray. It does not hear your prayers, for it is deaf. It does not see the oneness in you, for it is blind. It does not understand you are the Son of God, for it is senseless and understands nothing. We will attempt today to be aware of only what can hear and see and what makes perfect sense. We will again direct our exercises toward reaching your one self, which is united with its Creator. In patience and in hope, we try again today. The use of the first 5 minutes of every waking hour for practicing the idea for the day has special advantages at the stage of learning in which you are at present. It is difficult at this point not to allow your mind to wander if it undertakes extended attempts. You have surely realized this by now, haven't we? You have seen the extent of your lack of mental discipline and of your need for mind training. It is necessary that you be aware of this, for it is indeed a hindrance to your advance, that we need mind training, that it's hard for us to do what we want to do. We're supposed to be vigilant only for God and His kingdom, and yet we have a difficult time doing the simple stopping of every hour and having a moment, or 5 minutes if you can, of respite. Of tuning back in with God, staying tuned in with Him. Frequent but shorter practice periods have other advantages for you at this time. In addition to recognizing your difficulties with sustained attention, you must also have noticed that unless you are reminded of your purpose frequently, you tend to forget about it for long periods of time. Have you noticed that? You often fail to remember the short applications of the idea for the day, and you have not yet formed the habit of using it as an automatic response to temptation. That's what those shorter forms of the application are to be used for, a quick restorative when we're tempted. But we haven't developed the habit, he's saying. We want to change all that. Structure then is necessary for you at this time, planned to include frequent reminders of your goal and regular attempts to reach it. Regularity in terms of time is not the ideal requirement for the most beneficial form of practice in salvation. It is advantageous, however, for those whose motivation is inconsistent and who remain heavily defended against learning. So he's saying that we're likely heavily defended against learning, and we have small motivation. Our motivation is inconsistent. So he's saying that, using time is not the best, but it's something that works. It's the best at the level that we're at, is what he's saying. We'll learn to go beyond time, but for right now, we're going to use it constructively. We will therefore keep to the 5 minutes an hour practice periods for a while, and urge you to admit as few as possible. He doesn't want you to feel coerced, and if you can't do it, don't set your whole life aside in order to do it. But do the best you can. Using the first 5 minutes of the hour will be particularly helpful since it imposes firmer structure. So at the top of the hour, I do it just a few minutes before the hour if I can, or a few minutes after. If I miss it, and it's latter part of the hour, it's down at the bottom there, I go ahead and do it whenever I realize I didn't do it. Okay? Do not, however, use your lapses from this schedule for an excuse not to return to it again as soon as you can. There may well be a temptation to regard the day as lost because you have already failed to do what is required. This should, however, merely be recognized as what it is, a refusal to let your mistakes be corrected and an unwillingness to try again. The Holy Spirit is not delayed in His teaching by your mistakes. He can be held back only by your unwillingness to let them go. Let us therefore be determined, particularly for the next week or so, to be willing to forgive ourselves for our lapses in diligence and our failures to follow the instructions for practicing the day's idea. This tolerance for weakness will enable us to overlook it. Okay, so be tolerant of your weakness. Be patient with yourself. This tolerance for weakness will enable us to overlook it rather than give it power to delay our learning. If we give it power to do this, we are regarding it as strength and are confusing strength with weakness. When you fail to comply with the requirements of this course, you have merely made a mistake. This calls for correction and for nothing else. To allow a mistake to continue is to make additional mistakes based on the first and reinforcing it. It is this process that must be laid aside, for it is but another way in which you would defend illusions against the truth. Let all these errors go by recognizing them for what they are. They are attempts to keep you unaware you are one self united with your Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. This is the truth, and nothing else is true. Today we will affirm this truth again and try to reach the place in you in which there is no doubt that only this is true. Begin the practice period today with this assurance, given to your mind with all the certainty that you can give. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. Then close your eyes and tell yourself again, slowly and thoughtfully, attempting to allow the meaning of the words to sink into your mind, replacing false ideas. I am one self. Okay, so after you've said the longer form of the idea, I am one self united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace, then close your eyes and tell yourself again, slowly and thoughtfully, attempting to allow the meaning of the words to sink into your mind, replacing false ideas. I am one self. So take just that portion of it. Close your eyes and take your 5 minutes and just let that mull over in your mind. I am one self. I am one self. What does that mean? Repeat this several times and then attempt to feel the meaning which the words convey. You are one self, united and secure in light and joy and peace. You are God's Son, one self with one Creator and one goal, to bring awareness of this oneness to all minds, the true creation. Oh, that true creation may extend the allness and the unity of God. Next paragraph, 17, if you're following along. You are one self, complete and healed and whole, with power to lift the veil of darkness from the world and let the light in you come through to teach the world the truth about itself. Wow, we've got a wonderful message to share, that we're all one with God. You are one self, in perfect harmony with all there is and all that there will be. You are one self, the Holy Son of God, united with your brothers in this self, united with your Father in His will. Feel this one self in you and let it shine away all your illusions and your doubts. This is yourself, the Son of God Himself, sinless as its Creator, with His strength within you and His love forever yours. You are one self, and it is given you to feel this self within you and to cast all your illusions out of the one mind, which is this self, the holy truth in you. Do not forget today. We need your help, your little part in bringing happiness to all the world. Wow, the angels, the Holy One, the unseen ones, the cloud of witnesses need our help to bring happiness to all the world. And heaven looks to you in confidence that you will try today. Share then its surety, for it is yours. Be vigilant. Do not forget today. Remember I just said, and that was a quote, be vigilant only for God and His kingdom? Well, He's saying, let's use our vigilance today to do our lesson every 5 minutes of the day, and to actually get this message that I am one self, and that I share it with all creation, with all my brothers and sisters. The last paragraph for today. Throughout the day, do not forget your goal. Repeat today's idea as frequently as possible, and understand each time you do so, someone hears the voice of hope, the stirring of the truth within his mind, the gentle rustling of the wings of peace. Your own acknowledgement, you are one self, united with your Father, is a call to all the world to be one with you. To everyone you meet today, be sure to give the promise of today's idea and tell him this: you are one self with me, united with our Creator in this self. I honor you because of what I am and what He is, who loves us both as one. God loves us and we're one with Him. Come up with a little saying. If you don't want to memorize that, come up with a little saying that just kind of impose it on people in your mind. Impose, is that the right way to say it? Impress it or put it on them in your spirit. You don't have to use it verbally, but somehow tell them that you are one self with me, united with our Creator in this self. I honor you because of what I am and what He is, who loves us both as one. And I generally conclude my 5-minute meditations by reading the lesson again, and I particularly read what I want to say to everyone as I'm meeting them today. You are one self with me, united with our Creator in this self. I honor you because of what I am and what He is, who loves us both as one. Okay, a little longer lesson. Let's go take a look at our text reading. We're ready for in chapter 10, God and the Ego, section 5, the inheritance of God's Son. As you're turning there, let me tell you about a Baker's Creek heirloom seed Chatney red core carrot. We talked about it yesterday. The carrot is, I meant to tell you the genus and species, and I don't think I wrote it down. Did I or not? Thought I did, but it doesn't appear like I did. So I did look it up, but then I failed to write it down. So you have to look it up yourself, or I'll tell you tomorrow. Anyway, Chatney red core carrots, 75-day carrot, one of the sweetest. This variety was introduced in 1929 and is a large stump-rooted carrot with a deep red-orange center, great for juicing or fresh eating. This variety makes a fine, sweet juice with floral notes. And I also found that the Chatney, with its short, stumpy root, can power through hard clay and rocky soils like we have here in the Ozarks. And some things going on around the world today. On Wednesday, April 5th, Passover starts this evening at sundown. Pesach, also known as, it's got several names, and it's the Jewish first day of Passover, the week-long Passover. Also, Holy Wednesday, and it's also known as Spy Wednesday, referring to Judas's, his act. First Contact Day for you Star Trekkies. Accelerate ACL awareness around Young Women's Day. ACL, Anterior Cruciate Ligament Day. I broke one, that's why I knew the name. Mine's broken in a horse accident years ago. Bell Bottom Day, Child Help National Day of Hope, Global Day of the Engineer, Go for Broke Day, Wager Everything Day. Same day, just do different ways of saying it. Gold Star Spouses Day and Gold Star Wives Day, National Caramel Day, National Dandelion Day, which we'll talk about dandelion in a minute, National Day of Hope, National Deep Dish Pizza Day, National Flash Drive Day, National Raisin and Spice Bar Day, National Walking Day, get out and take a walk, Paraprofessional Appreciation Day, and Read a Road Map Day. Okay, and I found that if the dandelion, that's why I got the little dandelion here since it's National Dandelion Day, the Taxicum officinale, dandelion, traditionally dandelion has been used as a diuretic and to increase the amount of urine and to eliminate fluid in your body. It has been used for many conditions where a diuretic may be helpful, such as liver problems and high blood pressure. And I found that on mountsinai.org. And on chatelaine.com, I found it said that has been used to remove toxins as an antibacterial, and thus it's good for UTIs. It's got a lot of cleansing qualities, and it's the thing I like about these old. I dig this one up. I'll eat it here in a little bit, but I thought I'd show it to you. It doesn't hold up real nice after I dug it up. I put it in some water, but there's your dandelion. The root is highly nutrient rich and a cleanser, and just good old eat. I like the flavor of them. They're a little bitter when you first start getting used to them. Okay, the inheritance of God's Son, section 5 in chapter 10. Never forget that the sonship is your salvation, for the sonship is your soul. As God's creation, it is yours, and belonging to you, it is His. Your soul does not need salvation, but your mind needs to learn what salvation is. You are not saved from anything, but you are saved for glory. Glory is your inheritance, given your soul by its Creator, that you might extend it. Yet if you hate part of your own soul, all your understanding is lost, because you're looking on what God created as yourself without love. Wow. And since what He created is part of Him, you are denying Him His place in His own altar. 32. Could you try to make God homeless and know that you are at home? Can the Son deny the Father without believing that the Father has denied him? God's laws hold only for your protection, and they never hold in vain. What you experience when you deny your Father is still for your protection, for the power of your will cannot be lessened without the intervention of God against it, and any limitation on your power is not the will of God. Therefore, look only to the power that God gave to save you, remembering that it is yours because it is His, and join with your brothers in His peace. 33. The peace of your soul lies in its limitlessness. The peace of your soul lies in its limitlessness. Limit the peace you share, and your own soul must be unknown to you. Every altar to God is part of your soul because the light He created is one with Him. Would you cut off a brother from the light that is yours? You would not do so if you realized that you can only darken your own mind. As you bring him back, so will your mind return. That is the law of God for the protection of the wholeness of His Son. Let's look at that again. Would you cut off a brother from the light that is yours? Boy, this goes really well with our lesson for today. I am at one with every aspect of creation. I am one self united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. Would you cut off a brother from the light that is yours? You would not do so if you realized that you can only darken your own mind. As you bring him back, so will your mind return. That is the law of God for the protection of the wholeness of His Son. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Look at that. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Only your mind, only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Remember also that the denial of this simple fact takes many forms, and these you must learn to recognize and to oppose steadfastly and without exception. This is a crucial step in the reawakening. The beginning phases of this reversal are often quite painful, for as blame is withdrawn from without, there is a strong tendency to harbor it within. It is difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there is no distinction between within and without. 35. If your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you're blaming yourself. And you cannot blame yourself without blaming them. That is why blame must be undone, not reallocated. Lay it to yourself and you cannot know yourself, for only the ego blames it all. Self-blame is therefore ego identification and as strong an ego defense as blaming others. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. When His Son lifts His voice in praise of His Creator, He will hear the voice of His Father. Yet the Creator cannot be praised without His Son, for their glory is shared, and they are glorified together. Christ is at God's altar waiting to welcome His Son. But come wholly without condemnation, for otherwise you will believe that the door is barred and you cannot enter. The door is not barred, and it is impossible for you to be unable to enter the place where God would have you be. But love yourself with the love of Christ, for so does your Father love you. You can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door which Christ holds open. Come unto me who holds it open for you. For while I live, it cannot be shut. And I live forever, says Jesus. And he holds the door open for us. God is my life and yours, and nothing is denied but God to his Son. And nothing is denied by God to his Son. At God's altar, Christ waits for the restoration of himself in you. God knows his Son as wholly blameless as himself, and he is approached through the appreciation of his Son. Christ waits for your acceptance of him as yourself and as his wholeness as yours. For Christ is the Son of God who lives in his Creator and shines with his glory. Christ is the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, as perfect as his Creator and at peace with him. Blessed is the Son of God, whose radiance is of his Father, and whose glory he wills to share as his Father shares it with him. There is no condemnation in the Son, for there is no condemnation in the Father. Sharing the perfect love of the Father, the Son must share what belongs to him, for otherwise he will not know the Father or the Son. Peace be unto you who rest in God, and in whom the whole sonship rests. Okay, well, maybe we do have a little bit. I read through that a little fast up there at the end, because I was looking at my time, and we have used quite a bit of time. So we better just go ahead and do our song. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. Okay. Well, let's see if we can't be on our way with a little song. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. To everyone you meet today, say, you are one self with me, united with our Creator. In this self, I honor you because of what I am and what He is, who loves us both as one. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace. I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and in peace.